G'day my dudes, I'm Average Dom Slim, and this video is all about the half marathon. I'm running my third ever half marathon in April. Here was my first, here was my second, and now I'm 9 weeks out from my third, and I'm aiming to run 1:13. Between my first half marathon and my second, I cut my time by 18 minutes. So I want to share with you how to run a faster half marathon, and it also includes my plan to chop another 2 to 3 minutes off my time in April. Firstly, Wait, do you hear that? Oh, that's just my theme music. I'll be right back. Told you I'll be back. Now here's that background that I promised. Many of you might have heard of good old Phidippides. If you haven't, he was a Greek messenger who ran 42 kilometers all the way to Athens to deliver a message of an oncoming ship. Now if you're thinking, oh, I must have missed that. God, I gotta read the news more often. Don't worry, this was ages ago. I'm talking back when they counted years backwards. It was a weird time. Anyway, Phidippides delivered his message, then he died. And so they created the marathon in his honor. Now that's not even the story that I want to tell you today. I want to tell a little known story that my Yia-Yia told me. I'm Greek, by the way. Now Phidippides had a friend who actually ran with him called Demopides. Demopides ran faster than Phidippides did, but he got to about halfway and he said, and I quote, "Yeah, that's plenty far, I'm gassed." And he stopped there. Many were still really impressed with Demopides' effort. And some said because of the distance he ran and how fast he ran, it was actually more impressive than what Phidippides did. Controversial, and that controversy still rages on today. But in the end, they created the demi-marathon, the half marathon. It's always good to have a bit of background. You're welcome. Also, I have to hold my microphone today because it's causing me troubles. Sorry about that. Okay, let's talk all about the half marathon wrapped up in a little bundle that I like to call my 5 best tips. I really did consider just doing 5 average tips, and then I thought I could do 3 good ones and 2 dodgy ones. But anyway, I just went with the 5 best ones. I hope you learned something, enjoy the video, and consider subscribing. Okay, I want to just quickly take you through my average mileage per week training for my half marathons. Half marathon 1, I was doing roughly 40 kilometers a week, and as a reminder, I ran 1:34. For half marathon 2, I was up to about 65 kilometers a week, and I ended up running 1:15. For half marathon 3, I'm running about 100 kilometers a week, and I'm aiming to run 1:13. So based on your experience, your ability, your goal time, your lifestyle, your other commitments, personal baggage, your haircut, and your general level of enthusiasm, this will determine what mileage you should be running in training for a half marathon. But here are some pointers. Weekly mileage should range from somewhere between 30 kilometers and 100 kilometers per week. It depends on the above factors, but mostly based on experience. Make sure you assign at least a few months to train for a half marathon. Build slowly to get to your determined mileage. So you should be increasing week on week, but no more than 10%. Try to factor in at least 1, if not 2, rest days per week, and use that time to stretch and foam roll. And expect to be tired as you build your mileage, but just know that you will catch up to it. So before half marathon 1, I never ran intervals. I just ran. I introduced intervals on the track between half marathon 1 and half marathon 2. It got me used to running a lot faster than I was used to in training. I've loved it ever since. Now let me break down some basics of interval training. Firstly, the warm-up jog / dynamic stretching. This is the most important session in the week to actually warm up because you're going to be running real fast. So if there is one session in the week that you do feel like stretching, make it this one. As for the main sets, you want to be aiming for between 4 kilometers and 7 kilometers of effort. That's the distance that you'll be running at pace. You have recovery in between, that doesn't count. And then you want to look to do a warm down. I know I'm pushing it. Now, you want some examples of sessions that you can do? I'm going to give you an example of a session that you can do on a track if you have access to a 400-meter track, and I'll give you an example of a session you can do on the road if you don't have access to a track. Okay, here we go. Workout number 1. You've got 800 meters, 400 meters, 200 meters. 1 minute recovery between those reps, and 2 minutes recovery between the sets. If you do 5 sets, then you'll get to 7 kilometers. If you're newer, just aim for 4 or even 3. Now here's workout number 2. 2 by 2 kilometers and 6 sets of 500 meters. You've got 2 minutes recovery between the 2Ks and you've got 1 minute recovery between the 500. Again, if you do all of that, it's a total of 7 kilometers of effort. If you're newer, just do 3 to 4 of the 500s. So in terms of pace, I'll let you work out what works for you by feel. But if you want some general guidance, you want to be running your 800s at about your 5K pace, and then you can adjust from there. So your 400 should be faster than that, your 1 to 2K should be slower than that. Anyway, you get it, you know what's up. Your lactate threshold is the level at which your body is just about able to dispose of the lactic acid generated in your legs by the speed of your run. Science. So this is running at a comfortably hard pace. As general guidance, this is somewhere between 10 to 15 seconds slower than your 10K PB pace. If you are just starting out, look to try and run a 10-minute threshold and then build that up, 15, 20. You're ultimately aiming to run a 30-minute threshold. You can also use a broken threshold to get there, 3 times 10 or 2 times 15. And you want to have 1 to 2 minutes rest / recovery between those sets. Now, do you want more science on how it works? Please say no, please say no.
Yes.
Damn it. The idea of training at lactate threshold is centered around increasing your body's ability to clear lactate and buffer acid at higher intensities. It will also improve your VO2 max and the efficiency of your running. As you run more efficiently, you can produce energy aerobically at a faster running speed, which translates to better long distance performance. Now, I'll obviously edit this bit out. I just can't choose whether I should decide on food or strength training for tip number 4. Now, if I choose food, I'll talk about fueling through eating carbs and protein, reducing the naughty stuff like sugars and alcohol, eating before sessions, the benefits of electrolytes, and learning to ingest energy gels during runs in training to practice for race day. On the other hand, if I choose gym, I'll obviously mention the benefits of leg training, which contributes to running endurance, plyometric exercises, which help with balance, stability, agility, and speed, upper body and core work, which contribute to maintaining good running form as your body fatigues, as it will during a half marathon, and that keeping that good form is critical to running efficiently. I'll mention that gym is a necessary supplement to a great running regime, and the only supplement more important is probably food. Okay, I'll choose food. Yes, surround yourself with support. Make it a whole thing. Look, you're not the only one trying to run a faster half marathon. So find other people to run with, talk to, and even race with. Channels like mine, this is what they're here for. To share tips, kick goals together, provide inspiration, and remind you to keep having fun. So look things up, ask questions, share challenges, and just know that other people are going through the same thing as you. Also know that on some days it's going to be really hard to find motivation, and some days you won't want to get out of bed. It's okay to be motivated by each other. Some days you're going to be the motivator, and some days you're going to be the motivated. That's okay. It's all part of it. And get your family and friends on board if you can. At the most, get them to also sign up to a half marathon. And at the least, hopefully they'll just support you during training, maybe hand you an energy gel on race day, and cheer your name as you come through that finish line in triumph.
Come on, mate, on.
Well done, mate. Well done, dog.
All right, so that's 5 tips. Now, would you like a summary table?
Yes.
Good, because here it is. Half marathon 1. As I mentioned, mileage was 40 kilometers per week. And I've always eaten well and done strength training as part of my lifestyle, so those 2 get ticks. Half marathon 2, I was running 65 kilometers a week. I started interval training and I joined a running group. Half marathon 3, that's this time around. I'm running 100 kilometers a week. I do threshold training. And I've also added a couple of rows here. I have a lot more race experience, not so much half marathons themselves, but everything from 10 kilometers through to marathon. And I also get coaching now. Hopefully these more incremental changes will be the difference for me, and I'll be able to shave that 2 to 3 minutes off my time in April. And hopefully these tips will be really helpful for you and you can shave huge amounts of your PB. Oh, I just thought I'd share one more tidbit of Greek history from my Yia-Yia. So Phidippides and Demopides also had a friend that just loved swimming naked. Skinny Dippides. Guys, I'm Average Tom Slim. I'll see you next week. Please subscribe to my channel.